activities. Either it may be PhD or it may be the writing of research papers for the journals or writing some research documents. So once again, I congratulate and welcome the resource person to this workshop. Thank you very much. And I hand over the dais to Dr. Komal now.
Thank you so much for your encouraging words, sir. And without further ado, I request Dr. Pavan to commence with the session.
Okay, first of all, very good evening to my Reverend Sir Dr. Dharmender Singh Uba, Principal Khalsa College, Patiala, and I also a warm good evening to Madam Dr. Komal Randhawa, and a very good evening to one and all the participants from Khalsa College or from the various states of India. So it's my proud privilege for being the resource person in one of the esteemed college of Punjab. So I think my voice is audible, ma'am. I should start now. Hello, Komal ma'am, is my voice audible? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
You're audible.
Okay. So before, so I'm very thankful to all one and all the participants. So let us start with the session of the first day. So today we are going to discuss the basics of research, and in the basics of research we are going to discuss about the scale and scaling techniques. All right, so this workshop or this FDP, I would likely to emphasize on the practical aspects rather than the theoretical aspects. Rather, we would likely to interact more, and we will have an interaction session so that more clarities and more doubts will be cleared. So first of all, let me share my screen with you. I hope you are able to see the screen, Komal ma'am.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay.
Yes, sir. We can see the screen.
Okay. Thank you very much. So the first session is on the scale and scaling techniques. So you know that this is a workshop on research methodology. So in the research methodology, before to commence with my session, I would likely to share some of the ground rules to proceed with the session. Number one, that is we are all colleagues and respect each other. And it is okay to disagree, but respectfully, okay? I may be wrong or you may be wrong, but it is okay to disagree, but we will disagree with respectfully, and we will listen as allies and will not be judgmental, and we will seek participation from all. Okay, I would likely to take your queries, and I would likely to seek your participation rather than it would be kind of a monologue discussion and I'll keep on sharing the information. I'm not going to share the information, rather we're likely to understand and we're likely to develop and apply the research concepts. And we will start with the clean state, and we will try to respect the schedule as well. So whatever the schedule we have, so we will wind up the session every day within that stipulated hours. So dear participants, the learning outcome of the session. So I would be likely to acquaint you the three outcomes that after this session, you will be able to understand the concepts of scale and scaling techniques in research, which is a very, very fundamental basics of designing the questionnaire, which is a very, very fundamental basics of conducting the data collection. So that is the first outcome. And the second outcome is enable the scale construction for research problem. Whatever the research problem, whatever the research topic you are having in the PhD or in your capstone project or in your dissertation. So how you are going to develop the scale. Okay, so that is the second outcome of the session. And the third important outcome of the session is that after this session, you will be able to develop the skill to design appropriate scales for conducting the research. So first of all, the question comes that why research? Why should we go with the research? Okay. So I'll be discussing with you that why research when we are searching it for the first time. Generally, when you ask somebody, okay, what is research? Generally, most of the answer you will get that research means to research. Okay. But because it is not using re means to mean again, the late 16th century, okay, from the obsolete French, it means recherche. Recherche is a noun and researcher is a verb. And re here means the expressing intensive force, not again, but it is expressing intensive force, and searcher means to search. So basically, when we are searching with intent something, okay, then it is called a research. So basically, searching with intent is called research. And you know that research is everywhere. Research is all around. Okay. Research is all around and research is everywhere. For example, as you know, that recently, you know, this we are into the new normal, absolute normal now after post pandemic times. So there are so many things that we can do in the research. For example, I'm taking some of the research topics which we can take from the pandemic situation, like impact of COVID-19 on consumer purchase behavior. For example, I'm taking, right? And students' perception towards online classes, like you must be taking online classes in your campus. So how the student perceive your classes, that what the type of classes you are taking, in which of the platform are you taking, so you can take the students' perception towards online classes during pandemic and its effect on academic performance. So this could be one of the research topic. And the third topic, which I have just noted down, that is grocery shopping preference during COVID-19 crisis. So what I'm talking about is that research is everywhere. So we can take any situation, any incident, any happening as a to keep for the further conducting the research, like grocery shopping preference during COVID-19 crisis. Okay. And then is like, for example, consumer attitude towards EV vehicles in India, electronic vehicles in India. So these are some of the topics, these are some of the research areas, research topics which we can do the research on these emerging topics, on in these current topics. So what is the concept of research? What is research? So if we talk about research, research is actually the discovery of new facts. When you are actually discovering some new facts, new laws, new principle, new theory, or new generalization using inductive and deductive method, reflective thinking and problem solving approach. Basically, research is meant for finding the solution of a problem. Until and unless you won't find the solution of a problem, then we cannot call it as a research. So research facilitates the business managers in decision making, those participants who are the students, like the management students or MCOM students, MBA students. So for them, you know, business research is very important because managers faces a lot of challenges, a lot of issues. Like there are so many management dilemmas. For example, should we launch the product? Should we change the design of the product? Should we change the price of the product? Should we change? Should we take our products to the global markets? So these are some of the management dilemmas on the base on which we can, you know, look for the research, okay, in order to find the solution, in order to find the solution of a problem, so that the management is in a position to take the decisions. Okay, so that is something which we call in the management terms or business term, which is called the management problem. It is a management problem. For example, I'll take an example of, say, Khalsa College Patiala. Say, let's say any XYZ college, Khalsa College Patiala, if they are going to conduct the satisfaction survey of the students that they have undertaken the online classes, okay, from Zoom platform or whatever the platform they had used during this pandemic times. So they will be getting to know that whether the students are satisfied, not satisfied, whether they are satisfied with the teaching pedagogy of the faculty, whether they are not satisfied with the teaching pedagogy of the faculty. So that is something which we can call it as a research. That's why I'm trying to make you understand that research is everywhere. You can pick any topic, any issue, any incident, any happening to take as a research, you know, problem or research issue. So for a business perspective, those students who are doing a commerce background, management background, so you are more inclined towards the business research. So business research means the business problems. And what are the business problems? There are a lot of business problems. For example, I just mentioned a few examples like pricing, product, place, promotion. So these are all some of the problems which the management is in a dilemma, basically. So to take the decision. So research will facilitate finding certain, insights, so that the management, the higher authorities, can take the decisions, right? So basically research facilitates the managers in decision making. So that's why research is the reinterpretation of a already known generalization. Sometimes, the research are already available, like what we can call it is a review of literature, right? Or the already existing studies are available. So we would likely to research the phenomena which are already existing. Okay, like say for example, the consumer purchase behavior, buying behavior, attitude studies, opinion studies. So these are some of the researches which is already known, generalization, laws, facts, theories, and we are going to examine those theories. Like for example, I take one good example of e-commerce adoption. So whether in the rural markets, say for example, I would likely to conduct the research in the rural markets, rural areas, whether the e-commerce is acceptable or not, awareness, acceptance, or adoption of e-commerce in the rural areas in comparison to the urban, you can say customers or urban consumers. So again, this is something which we can call it as a research, where I'm going to generalize the laws, this theory. So there are certain theories, like a theory of adoption. I think those business professors, the business students, they might have studied this theory, like the theory of diffusion. Okay, the theory of diffusion, that there are different stages of the theory of the consumers, like the innovators, okay, adopters, early majority, late majority, and laggards. So there are different adoption level. So I'm going to examine whether this particular theory. So this is also called the research. So basically research is the discovery of new facts, laws, principle, theory, and new generalization using the various methods, that is inductive method and deductive method, or problem solving approach. And the basics, I'm just taking today the basics of research, that what are the different types of research. There are a basic research, there is a fundamental research, there is applied research. So more important is applied research. Applied research means the research which is conducted to find out the solution of a problem. When you are conducting the research in order to find out the solution of a problem, that is applied research. And applied research is meaningful. Applied research is more more apt and more solution oriented. Okay, that is something called the applied research. So one thing is very, very clear, that research is a creative process. It includes far more than mere logic. It includes insights, it includes your genius, groping, pondering, sense, the logic we can teach, and the art we cannot. So sometimes the research requires with imagination also, initiative also, intuition also, and curiosity also. If you are not curious, you cannot be a good researcher. If you don't have any intuition, you cannot be a good researcher. Okay, so that these are some of the important things which I am mentioning you as far as the research is concerned. So there are different types of research, like the Trockim's classified that there are descriptive research, relational research, and causal research. Descriptive means you are describing, like the percentage of regular exercisers, okay, the percentage of males, females. So these are descriptive, kind of research. Then we have the relational research, like you are finding the relation between two variables, like you are finding the link between the age and exercise. And then we are having the causal research, like you are going to examine the effect of one variable into the another variable. For example, in this example I've taken Simple example like effect of behavioral change on intervention on exercise participation. So behavioral change is here the independent variable and exercise participation is the dependent variable. So I'll let you know all these things. Just I am telling you some of the basics things so that we could have the fundamental that what is research and what is the type of research, what is basic research, what is applied research. Now today my topic is on the scale. So now I am coming to a very, very important session which I am going to teach you in the next hour. What is scale? Scale is the fundamental of any research. Whatever the things I have taught you right now, what is research, types of research, you know, descriptive research, you can take any textbook, you can pick any book, you can please you can go through it. But what is scale? Now that is very, very important. Scale means, you know, you have seen a lot of scales like when you go in a goldsmith shop, you go in a grocery shop, or you go in any super stores, you will find that scales are there. They are absolute scales. Absolute scales means whatever you are measuring, you are buying the things, they measure that, whether it is a 1 kg, whether it is a 2 kg, whether it is a 3 kg, but we call it as a scale. You know, it is called as a scale. Scale means through which you can measure. So I have shown you these pictures so that you can come to know that these are the scales which measures the absolute value. And we have the scale to measure kilometers also, miles also. So similarly in the research, we have a scale. We have to develop the scale in order to measure something. I'm going to show you one pic. Can you please tell me, the participant, what is this? Can you please write in the chat box that what it is, what do you observe through this pic? Yeah, please. Can you please write in the chat box, what are you observing here from this pic? Yeah, please write in the chat box. What are you observing from this image? What are you observing? What is there? What is there in this image? Chats. Okay, somebody's writing, somebody cheering India. Okay, India team won. Happiness, very good. Well, Harshdeep, you have mentioned very right. Happiness, fantastic. Cheering happily the participants. People cheering Team India. Different types of cricket fans. Okay, jersey of India. Okay, specific audience. All right. Spirit, passion. Okay. Patriotism. Okay, patriotism, enjoyment. So can you measure patriotism? Like somebody who has written happiness. Can you measure happiness? Can you measure enjoyment? Can you measure patriotism? How can I come to know that, no. Harshdeep mentioned no, no. Sangeeta, yes. Yes, okay. Rate. Sangeeta Sood mentioned rate. Large number of population. Okay, large number of population. Yes, with the help of scales. Yes, we can measure, we can define, but just measure. It's qualitative. Okay, so you are giving your own on your observations, what you are, you know, looking at this picture. Actually, when I am going to apply the various scale, I can come to know how many males and females are in this picture. Can I come to know how many males and how many females are in this picture? No, because quality cannot measure. Yes, absolutely right. Absolutely right. So what I have to do, in order to measure, मुझे क्या करना होगा? If I would likely to measure, then what I have to do? What I have to do as a researcher, what should I do to measure the patriotism, to measure the happiness, or to measure the, you know, males and females, how many males are there here or how many females are there? So here, Arup, here Ashish Mahajan, please try to understand here. The importance of scale comes in the research. Here, importance of scale comes, or if I would likely to study their attitude, Like there is a mobs, the cricket fan people are sitting over there, and I would likely to study their attitude. Okay, so how can I measure their attitude, whether they are happy, they are not happy, they are having a positive attitude, negative attitude? So what should I do? So the importance of scale comes. Okay, the importance of scale comes in scales of measurement. Okay, in the quantitative research, scale is very, very important. Scale means that how you are going to measure the attitude, how you are going to measure the phenomena. Okay, so here the importance of scale comes. So what are these scales? Now, you have seen the scale, like in a mathematics, you used to use the scale, and you measure that's 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter, 4 centimeter. But how can you measure attitude? You can't measure attitude in 4 centimeter, 5 centimeter, or 10 centimeter. So what you are supposed to do? So there are different types of scale which are actually important in the research. So I'll be touching today very important fundamental of research. My dear participants, if the scale fundamental is not clear to you, you cannot develop the questionnaire, and you cannot you cannot identify the type of scales, and you cannot run the software. Okay, because ultimately in the software like SPSS or SPSS, you need to put the variables, you need to put the scale type. Scale type means, now what are those scale types? So actually in research there are 4 types of scale. One is called the nominal scale, second is the ordinal scale, third is interval scale, and fourth is the ratio scale. In any questionnaire, you pick any questionnaire of PhD, any questionnaire of capstone project, any questionnaire in the project which you are guiding to the students, or the students who are right now the participants, people are also doing various projects. So in the project, while constructing the questionnaire, you actually use different types of scale while constructing the questions. So these are nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. Now the question arises, what is nominal? So I'll be giving you a very short mantra to remember and to recall that, so that you could come to know what is nominal. So you pick the first 3 alphabet of nominal. It is NOM. NOM means norm. Norm is name. So you just write whatever you are writing. Please, nominal means, I'm just giving you a mantra to remember it. Okay, it's not written in any textbook or any books. Okay, it's my own way to make you understand. Norm is name. Name is label. Okay, name is identity. Please, please don't write on the screen, Arup. Arup, don't write on the screen, please. Yeah. It is name. Name means the identity. The identity is called the nominal scale. Like for example, you can see that nominal scale means the numbers which serves only labels, which numbers only serves only labels or tags. Like for example, you go in the apparel shop and you see the tops, and in the tops there are tags are written over there, like L size, X size, XL size. So what are these? These are only the application or example of names. Nominal tags are there, labels are there. Like for example, you buy a Coca-Cola, so there are different labels of Coca-Cola, the different labels of the product. So these comes under the nominal scale. So nominal scale means the names, identity, or tags, okay, for identifying or classifying object. For example, in case of gender, gender is a name like male and female. So male is a tag, male is an identity, that female is an identity. So this is the scale which we can call it is a nominal scale. In the nominal scale, there is a limitation of nominal scale, that in the nominal scale we can only count. Okay, we can only count. For example, take an example of a class of MBA, and in the class of MBA there are, let's say, 60 students, and 40 are, let's say, males and 20 are females. So what I can do only, in statistically, I can only compute the frequency of those male and female. I can only compute the count of male and female, or at max, I can compute the percentage of male and female. So basically, please note down, nominal scale is one of the scale where we are going to identify only the categories. Categories, please note down the word categories. When you have the categories, that is called nominal scale. Okay. And you have the education. For example, when you are writing a questionnaire, when you are preparing a questionnaire, and in one of the questionnaire, in one of the question, you are taking the education. So education is, can you please write, can you please mention in the chat box, education is categorical scale? Yes or no? Please, can you write in the chat box? If I give an example of education, education is a nominal or nominal scale? Okay, yes. Very good, very nice, very nice. So why it is a categorical scale? Can you please write, somebody please write in the chat box, why it is categorical scale? Why it is called nominal scale? I would likely to interact with you more through chat, because otherwise unmute will create a lot of disturbance. So write in the chat. Options are there. Option is not the answer. Please, Nilesh, options is not the answer. Option is the wrong answer. The right answer is that the categorize, that you can categorize, you can show the level, you can, because it reflects the categories. Yes. Why it is categories like 10th, 12th, BCom, MCom, MBA, post-graduation, UG, PG, male, female, transgender. Okay. So these are the categories. These are the categories. Achha, I give you one good question to you. For example, there is a hard drink and there is a soft drink and there is a light drink. Is it a nominal scale? You are asking in the questionnaire to the respondent that which drink you prefer, light drink, hard drink, and the you can say cold drink, for example. So which scale it is? Which scale are you using here? Please write, don't write yes or no. Please write the name of the scale, nominal scale. So I'll be giving you more application, more examples, so that clarity should be there that what is nominal scale. So I think whenever you are asking in your questionnaire age, income, gender, occupation, please note down age, income, gender, occupation, any demographic, when you are asking in the categories, that is something which we call it as a nominal scale. Is it clear to you? Please, can you please write in the chat box? Okay, yes, it is clear, so that I could go further. Okay, all right. So once these, I'm giving you good examples so that you would be clear more that when the data are labels, for example, what is your gender, male and female? What is your occupation, government job, private job, or business? That is also a nominal scale. Okay, similarly, what is your monthly mobile bill? आप अपने क्वेश्चनर में क्वेश्चन पूछते हो, you are asking the one of the question in the questionnaire, what is your monthly mobile bill? Is it from 200 to 550, 500 to 1000, or 1000 to 1200, or more than 1200? So it is also a nominal scale. It is also the category, because the respondent will give me the category. The respondent will give a one option, whether that bill is 500 to 1000 or 1000 to 1200. So it is a category. It is a nominal scale. Okay. So once the nominal scale is clear, so norm means name, name means label, label means your identity, and identity means category. So I'm using the various synonyms so that you would be clear that what is nominal scale. And it is the basic, dear researchers, it is one of the basic to design the instrument. Instrument means questionnaire. Instrument means your scale. So it is one of the very, very important basics to design the questionnaire. Now, second one is the ordinal scale. Ordinal scale means order. The first three digits, the first three letters of ordinal is the ORD. ORD stand for order. Whenever there is an order in the question, you are asking the order in the question. Order means you are asking, say, for example, brand preference. Okay, you are asking to the, suppose I'm doing a research on the shampoo, on the preference of shampoo. okay, among the females. And I'm asking one of the question, rank the shampoos from 1 to 10. And my respondent is a female, and the respondent is I'm asking to her to rank the shampoos. So what I'm doing, actually, I am using the scale which is called the ordinal scale, because I am seeking the order of the preference from the respondent. Okay, so this is also called ranking scale. Please note down, the synonym of ordinal scale is also called the ranking scale, because ranks are given to indicate the relative importance of the object that possess characteristics. For example, I am giving you the preference of the 4-5 shampoos, like say Head and Shoulders, say for example Pantene, for example the Tresemme, for example I'm giving you the say Dove, and I'm giving you Himalaya and Patanjali. So there are 5 shampoos, and my student, MBA student, is doing a capstone project on the shampoos preference. So he could use this scale as an ordinal scale in one of the question in the questionnaire to study the brand preference. For example, if my objective is to study the brand preference, so whenever there is a preference comes, so obviously which scale is suitable? I will be going for ordinal scale, ranking scale. Okay, and whenever there is a ranking scale, whenever there is an ordinal scale, you can apply some of the techniques in the statistics. For example, you can compute median, quartiles, interquartile range. So these are some of the things some of the techniques you can apply in the ordinal scale. So I have covered now nominal scale and the ordinal scale. Now try to understand, nominal and ordinal are called non-metric data. Please write down in your, wherever you are jotting down, please, it is called non-metric data. Non-metric, it's not metric data, it is non-metric, and it is inferior data. In the research, it is inferior data. Why? Because we cannot apply parametric test. We cannot apply parametric test in the nominal scale and the ordinal scale. At max, in the nominal scale, we can go for count, frequencies, and percentage. And in the ordinal scale, at max, you can go for the non-parametric test or median, quartiles, and interquartile ranges. Okay. So this is something which is called the, what we can is the ranking. Yeah, ranking means it is given you the rank like from 1 to 10, 1 to 5, but the same rank should not be repeated. It should not be repeated. Okay. So next, once it is clear to you that nominal scale and ordinal scale, and both these scales are inferior scale, INFE, inferior scale. They are not superior scale, and they are called non-metric data, non-metric scale, non-metric data. Any question, please? You can write in the chat if any question from the nominal and ordinal, so that I could go with the next type of scale. Any question you have? Yes, Amandeep, I'll again explain. Right now, I have just told you 2 types of scale. One is nominal and one is ordinal. Nominal means category. Nominal means the label. Like for example, you take an example of cricket players. You have found that they on their jerseys it is written the 1, 2, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, for example. So that is something which is called the nominal scale, because they are label part. That is labeling part. Okay, label means that is the 1, 2, 3, 5. You are just identifying, you are just differentiating the one player from the another player by putting the label on their jerseys. That is called the nominal scale. What is ordinal scale? Ordinal means the order is there, rank is there. Ordinal means order preference. You are asking the respondent to give the preference of any brand or preference of choice of any brand, then it is simply called a ranking scale. Whenever you are asking in the questionnaire to rank, for example, I'm doing a survey on the automobile industry, for example. Okay, and there are so many car companies like Maruti, Hyundai, Tata, Toyota, and this Mahindra. So I'm seeking one of the study on the brand preference from the respondent. So obviously here I am going to go for the ordinal scale, because my question is more concerned with the order of preference, the ranking of the preference by the respondent. Can we say that a scale which uses nominal data is a nominal scale, and likewise for ordinal scale? Yes, of course, definitely. Yes, Garima, I will let you know the test of nominal. We cannot apply any test in nominal scale. Please note down, Garima. We cannot apply any test in case of nominal. Only we can go with the chi-square test. Chi-square test we can apply when we have the nominal data, but I don't want that on the very first day we jump to these tests. Okay, definitely we will come to know. Yes, we can go when we have the nominal scale, then we can go for the chi-square test, which is a non-parametric test. Is it clear to you, Garima? Please write. Next, we are going to once it is clear to you the nominal scale or the ordinal scale. Now we are going to discuss about the scale which is called the. Now look at this question. I have given you one question to you. For example, assigned rank 1 to 5 for the following attributes to select the toothpaste. Suppose, for example, my study is on the toothpaste preference, and I'm asking one of the question to the respondent that assign the rank from 1 to 5. And respondent is giving me the ranking, means 1 means highly preferred and 5 means the least preferred. So you are giving the ranks like the price to 1, taste to 2, promotion 3, advertisement number 4, habitual number 5. So what you are doing, actually you are assigning a rank. You are assigning a rank on the attributes to select the toothpaste. So that is something you can call it as a ordinal scale. Similarly, you are giving a ranking of 2 or more households, okay, according to their annual income or expenditure. Okay, even here also you are going for the ordinal scale. Similarly, you are giving, on the basis of income, you are giving A household rank number 1, B household rank number 2, C household rank number 3, and D household rank number 4, and E, on the E household you are giving the rank number 5. So here you are giving the ranks. So respondent, whenever in your questionnaire you are seeking the respondent gives the rank, then it is called the ordinal scale. Then these two scales, or nominal, ordinal, they are called the inferior scale. Now next we are going to discuss on the interval scale, which is very, very important. Interval scale. So what is interval scale? Interval scale is the scale which is used to measure behavioral response. Please note down, which is used to measure the behavioral response, like attitude response, attitude of the respondent. And you are going to measure this attitude or the behavior of the respondent on the scale, which is called the rating scale, and this is something called the interval scale. Why it is called interval? Now the question arises, sir, why it is called the interval? The first 5 letters, that is called inter. Inter means that the difference between one point to another point is equal. For example, generally most of the researchers, they use the example of thermometer. Like for example, you have the when you see the thermometer, they have the equal distance, and the distance means the difference between 40 degree and 50 degree is the same as 10 degree and 20 degree. But when we are talking about the interval scale in the research, so in the interval scale, number 1 is that there is no, the 0 is, arbitrary. Means the location of 0 point is not fixed. For example, say for example, you take an example of Likert scale. You are going to conduct a satisfaction survey in the campus, and you are going to seek the attitude of the student about the satisfaction of online classes. Okay, and you design a scale, you develop a scale which is having the equal distance and equal order. Like for example, 1 to 5 means 1 means strongly satisfied, 2 means satisfied, 3 means neither satisfied nor dissatisfied, and 4 means dissatisfied, and 5 means strongly dissatisfied. So what have you done? What have you done? As a researcher, you have developed the scale which is called the interval scale. Why it is called interval? Because 1 to 2, the distance between 1 to 2 is the same as the distance between 2 to 3, means the difference is same, number one. Number two is identity. What is identity? Identity means 1 means strongly satisfied, 2 means satisfied, 3 means not sure, not satisfied, or neither satisfied nor dissatisfied. 4 means that is the dissatisfied, and 5 means let's strongly dissatisfied, for example. So here order is there. Order means 1 to 5, that is order is there. Identity is there, means 1 means strongly dissatisfied, or 5 means strongly satisfied. So order is there, identity is there, and moreover difference is also equal. Difference is also equal whenever your scale comprises these 3 properties. Please, first property is identity, second property is order, and third property is equal distance. Please note down, whenever you have these 3 properties that is present in the scale, then it is called the interval scale. Interval scale. And in the real researcher, the real sense, you should understand like this way, that interval scale is the scale which is used to measure the attitude, the behavioral response of the customers or the respondents. In that case, we are going to go for the scale which is called the interval scale. And interval scale, like I have given you the example of satisfaction. Whenever you are using the interval scale, you can apply mean, standard deviation, correlation, ANOVA, regression, factor analysis, multi-dimensional scaling. For example, you can go for parametric test. You can apply parametric test in case of interval scale and ratio scale. But you cannot apply parametric test in case of the nominal scale and the ordinal scale. Now let us understand like this way, that in interval scale, you know that the 2 consecutive numbers like 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, okay, they are meaningful, and you are seeking behavioral response. For example, generally you will take a textbook of research, you will get the example of thermometer, because the distance are equal, okay, and equal interval are assumed, and based on 0 is arbitrary, 0 is not truly fixed. And for example, I have just given you, like for example, you are asking one of the study, the satisfaction survey with online education, and you are constructing one scale where you are using 1 means strongly dissatisfied, 2 means dissatisfied, 3 means neither satisfied nor dissatisfied, 4 means satisfied, and 5 means strongly satisfied. So this is the type of scale which we can call it as a interval scale. So once it is clear to you the interval scale, then the last type of scale is called the ratio scale, which is called the high order scale, and which is called the most superior scale. It is called the superior scale. Why it is called superior scale? Because it comprises the properties of nominal, ordinal, and interval. Okay, as you move from nominal to ratio, your properties goes on increasing. Like in case of nominal, the property is only categorical, but in case of ordinal, your properties, it is categorical as well as the order is there. And in case of interval, you have the 3 properties, that is the order is there, categories are there, and distance is also equal. Ratio scale is having an absolute 0 point. Like for example, if I ask you, like you people are participants right now, if I ask you what is your height, what is your weight, you will tell me, okay sir, my weight is 40 kg. You will tell me, sir, my weight is 60 kg. You are not giving me a weight in the type of scale. Can I ask you that I'm not asking you this question in the form of interval scale. Okay, 1 means strongly agree, or 5 means strongly disagree, or vice versa. I'm asking you the absolute answer, absolute number. What is your weight? You will tell me, sir, 62 kg or 58 kg, 42 kg. What is your age? Age. you will tell me 32 years, 40 years, 50 years. So this type of response, when you are getting the absolute answer, and your answer is in the form of discrete or continuous. Discrete means like 40 kg, 50 kg, you are telling me 1, 2, that is discrete. And when I'm asking you the continuous, like you are telling the like 2.5, 45.5, 46.5, 68.5. So whenever your response is there in this particular form of the question, then it is called the ratio scale. So we have 4 types of scale: the basic fundamental scales, which is called the nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale, and the ratio scale. Okay, and ratio scale is the most superior scale, because you can go for regression, you can go for any parametric test, you can apply for arithmetic operations, multiply, subtraction, addition, division, all statistical techniques you can apply when you have the ratio scale. So as a researcher, one thing is very, very important to understand here, that whenever you are going to construct the questionnaire, आपने जब भी कभी कोई क्वेश्चन डिजाइन करना है at the level of PhD or at the level of capstone project, try to use the superior scale. Superior scale means interval scale or the ratio scale. Do not go for the nominal scale, because from the nominal scale at max you can go for graphs, or you can go for count and frequencies. But if you really want to apply the high order techniques, okay, like you would likely to go for the structure equation modeling, or you are going to apply for the parametric test like t-test, ANOVA, the kind of parametric test, then you need the scale which is ratio or interval scale. Okay, otherwise there are the different types of tests are available which are non-parametric tests, like a Mann-Whitney U test, or the Wilcoxon rank test is there, KWS test is there. Okay, but try to first go for the scale. Scale is very important in the construction of the questionnaire, because sometimes when we guide our student in the capstone project or in the otherwise, students, what they do, they just randomly pick the question, and they don't look for that what type of techniques they are going to use further, and they face a lot of problem once the things are wrongly done. So first you should take the decision on the type of scale you are using in your questionnaire. Now, I'll be taking one small, like for example, I'm asking few questions here, like what is your monthly bill? So it will tell me it's rupees 500. So rupees 500 is an absolute number. What is your weight? You are telling me weight is 52 kg, 62, 80, 90. Then it is also a ratio scale. How much data you consume per month? You will tell me 2 GB, 5 GB, 10 GB, 20 GB, 30 GB. So that is something is called the ratio scale, ratio. And if I ratio means, like, for example, if there are A or B person, A is telling me that my weight is 60 kg and B is telling me my weight is 20 kg. So A would tell me that my weight is 3 times the B. So that is the ratio. Okay, A would tell that my weight is 3 times the B's weight. So that is called the ratio scale. And how many siblings are in your family? For example, 1, 2, 3. So that is something called the, what we call is the type of scale which is called the ratio scale. Just please, just tell me your observation. I'll just have a glass of water. So in order to understand the, I have used so many example. Rosie Jan, मैंने तो बहुत सारी examples use किए हैं. I think I am using a lot of examples rather than just telling you. But anyways, if you are still confused, I would tell you, like, for example, what is your height? You will answer your height is 5.5. You will tell me your height is 4.7. So it's a continuous data. It is it is called statistically, it is called continuous data, because you are giving me the absolute number. But if I ask you the question, okay, on the scale of 1 to 5, how much are you satisfied? For example, I am giving you a scale now. I am giving you a certain scale where you are going to give me the answer in form of, let's say, strongly agree or not sure, disagree, and strongly disagree. So that is something which we can call it as an interval scale. But ratio में क्या होता है? Ratio में what we are going to do is ratio. You are giving the absolute answer. You are seeking the absolute answer from the respondent. You are seeking the absolute number from the respondent. That is something which we can call it as a ratio data. For example, I'll give you one more good example of industry. Say, for example, sales and advertisement. You are seeking the data of advertisement and sales, and you are going to study the impact of advertisement on sales. So advertisement data is, ratio data. Why? Because it is in absolute number. It is in the form of continuous data. Like you have the first year you have done an advertisement of, let's say 10,000. Then in the second year you spent 20,000. In the third year you spend 50,000. In the fourth year you spend 1 lakh on your advertisement, and subsequently you are getting the sales of the particular product on which you have spent the advertisement. So this type of data is called the ratio data, or you can call it as a, in terms of scale, you can call it as a ratio scale. So Anchal mentioned that in scale options are given which we can choose, while in ratio scale particular answers comes from the I'm not getting your question, Anchal. In scale options, yeah, options are given. Absolutely right. Absolutely right, Anchal. You are absolutely right that in scale options are given to you. Yes, which we can do. While in ratio scale, a particular answer comes from. Very nice. Very right. Very right. Yes, absolutely. So that is something called the ratio scale. Like GDP of the country. GDP of the country is a ratio data. Okay. Inflation data. Data of inflation is ratio data. Okay. Now, let me give you one small, another slide where you can see in the nominal, please look at attributes are only named. It is the weakest scale. It is the weakest scale because attributes are only named. Named means male, female, transgender. That's it. Ordinal means attributes can be ordered. It can be ordered. Ordered means ordering, preference, okay, ranking 1, 2, 3, 4. That is attributes can be ranked. And interval means inter means, I told you, inter means the distance is meaningful. Distance is meaningful means, like as I mentioned you the example of thermometer, the distance between the 40 degree to 50 degree is the same as the distance between the 20 degree to 30 degree. Similarly, if you look at the any scale, for example, the Likert scale, like 1, 2, 3, 1 to 5 scale. So here the distance is meaningful. Why? Because the distance between 2 and 1 is the same the distance between 4 and 5. So that means this is the interval scale, and ratio means absolute zero. In the interval scale, zero is arbitrary, whereas in the ratio, it is an absolute zero. I will tell you, I will give you more examples. Don't worry. Don't worry. Let me complete my first the things what I'm trying to make you understand. So now I am giving you a source from the Naresh Malhotra. This is one of the fantastic book to understand the research fundamentals. So nominal means the numbers are assigned to these riders. Riders means these players are there and the numbers is given, like this is the 7 number, this is 3 number, this is not rank. Please note down, this is not rank. This is only the number which is actually differentiating the player from one player to another player. So this is the 7th. It's not 7th position. It is the numbers assigned to the riders. So this is nominal scale. And here is the ordinal. Ordinal means here I am giving the order. Order means this is the first place. This is the second place. This is the third place. Okay, this is something called the ordinal scale. And here is the interval. Interval means I am giving the 0 to 10 scale. 0 to 10 scale, and I am seeking the response from the respondent, that which please give the rating of the respondent from 0 to 10. And this rating is given by the respondent like 8.2, 9.1, 9.6. That is something called the interval scale. Interval scale. And then is the ratio scale. Ratio means, as I told you, that there is absolute zero, like time to finish in second. The first player finishing the race in 15.2 seconds. The second player finishes the race in 14.1 second. And the third player finishes the race in the, the 13.4 second. So this is something which we can call it as a ratio scale. Okay, nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio. In the short form, you can write NOIR, NOIR, nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. So I'll again let you show you, like, for example, what is the limitation of nominal scale? Can you please tell me? Please write in the chat box. What is the limitation of nominal scale? What is the limitation of nominal scale? Zero concept. Amandeep, if I ask, if a baby is born, can I say the baby's weight is zero weight? Can I say this, that the weight of baby is zero weight? Can I say this, that the weight of the baby is zero weight? Not like that. Okay, not like that. We cannot seek this answer like this. So that is why it is called the absolute zero point. So what is the limitation of nominal scale? Dr. Jaspreet mentioned limited information can be extracted. Comparison is not possible. No, we can compare. We can compare male with female. How it is there? No test can be applied. Yes, no test can be applied, Rosie. That's fantastic answer. Nominal scale is only restricted to qualitative information. Fantastic, great answer by you. Yes, nominal scale is only restricted to the qualitative because you are just getting the categorical information. You can, at max, you can go for the counts or frequency. That is something called the Likert is an example of interval scale. Garima, Likert is interval scale. Why it is interval scale? Because, you know, from the distances there from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, equal distance is there. Equal distance is there. Why my voice is not coming? Yes. My voice is coming. Somebody is writing that your voice is not coming. Okay. Now, yeah. I hope my voice is coming. Please just write in the public chat.
Yes, sir. So you're audible.
Audible, no? Okay. So now we had finished up nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. Please note down that the limitation of nominal scale is that there is no numeric qualities. In the nominal scale, there is no numeric quality, only you are getting labels or identity. Like Virat Kohli 18. 18 is the only identity of Virat. Okay, that is something is called the limitation of nominal data. And you can see mostly in the qualitative data, we go for the nominal data, as I think Garima mentioned this answer, or somebody, Gurpreet, I think, yeah. So he's absolutely right that nominal scale, nominal data, we can go for qualitative. For quantitative data, ratio data and interval data is more important. So whenever you are going for designing your questionnaire, you look for the interval data, ratio data, because they are the most superior data. Okay, most superior data are interval data and ratio data. Even you can also take the ordinal data, because ordinal data is superior than nominal data. Try to understand like this way: as you move from nominal to ratio, the superiority goes on increasing. Like ordinal is better than nominal, interval is better than ordinal, and ratio is far better than all these three. Okay, this is the order of the data. Now you can see here, this is I have taken from the Naresh Malhotra's book. Very interesting. Again, you can go through this book. So nominal means only your identity, classifying object. Ordinal means you are giving the relative position of the objects, but not the magnitude of the difference between them. You are just simply asking the ranking of the top 4 teams in the football world cup. And interval mein kya hota hai? In interval, the difference between the objects can be compared. Like 1 means strongly agree or 2 means agree. So you can compare. The difference between the objects can be compared, and 0 is arbitrary. Like, for example, I have given the example of temperature. Like whenever you are going to measure attitude, whenever you are going to measure the opinion of the customer, opinion of the consumer, you are going for you are using the interval scale. And in the interval scale, you can go for ANOVA, t-test, parametric test. You can apply t-test, ANOVA, regression, factor analysis, correlation. I think somebody has written in the chat box, can we go for factor analysis? Yes, if in your questionnaire, agar aapke questionnaire mein you are taking statements, you are writing items, or in the scale, in the scale means the Likert scale, then obviously you can go for factor analysis, you can go for ANOVA, you can go for parametric test, t-test, ANOVA. Okay, but if your questionnaire is only ordinal, let's say आपने questionnaire में तो ordinal scale use किया है, और आप researcher से आप चाहते हो कि I should go for the for example the parametric test, t-test, so it is not possible. It is not possible. And in case of ratio, you can go for any type of the technique you can apply. Okay, like for example, length, weight, age, income, cost, sales, market share. These are some of the marketing example. Okay, when you are guiding the capstone projects, so the students, they may take the question of related to age, sales, market shares. So here you are going to use the ratio scale. So this is one good example where you can really understood now with this slide what is the difference between nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. For example, in the nominal scale, you are asking only the type of films like action movie, animated movie, comedy movie, drama movie, factual movie. So these are all the categories. These are all the categories. Okay, categories. Whereas in the ordinal scale, you are asking the question from the respondent, from the young audience, from the youth, the preference ranking about these film genres. Now they are giving the rankings like 1 to action, 5 to animated, 2 to comedy, 3 to drama. Then it is called the preference ranking. And in the interval scale, you are using the questionnaire you are using the question in the questionnaire where you are seeking the ratings, preferential ratings. Preference ratings means you are giving from 1 to 7 or 11 to 17 rating, and the respondent is giving 7 rating to action movie, 5 rating to animated movie, 7 rating to comedy movie, and 6 rating to the drama movie. Then it is called a interval scale. And in the ratio scale, you are actually asking the amount spent on cinema visits in the past 3 months, and you are seeking, and the response is there that on the action movie 200 rupees, animated movie 35 rupees, 35 comedy 200 rupees, for example, drama 100. So this is something which we can call it as a ratio scale. So I hope these 4 scales are now very much clear to you. Now I'm going to ask you the question. Now this is the questionnaire I have brought for you. You will people tell me, okay, which of this scale it is. Now this is a small test for you, from you. Please tell me, this questionnaire is all about measuring the customer satisfaction in one car workshop. So if I'm asking you, how often do you usually have your car washed? So he's asking, the answer is less than once a month, 2 times a month, 3 times a month, or 4 or more times a month. Can you please write which scale it is? Which scale it is? Please write in the public chat. Which scale it is? अरे इंटरवल कैसे हो गया ये? इंटरवल कैसे है? Why it is interval? यहाँ पे कौन सा कोई इक्वल डिस्टेंस है? There is no equal distance, there is no identity, there is no order, there is no equal distance. How can you say it is interval? You are just asking how often do you usually have your car washed? Less than once a month, 2 times a month, or more times a month. What is the answer? Is it a nominal scale, ordinal, interval, or ratio? It is nominal scale. Yes, Gagan, very right, Nilesh. It is a nominal scale because these are categories. Okay, less than once a month, 2 times a month, 3 times a month, or 4 or more times a month. Okay, these are all the categories. You are categorizing. That how often do you usually have your car washed? Okay, then next question to you. If I ask you this, in how long are you willing to wait to have your car professionally washed? Dash minutes. You are seeking the answer from the respondent. How long are you willing to wait to have your car professionally washed or waxed? What is this dash minutes? Oh, Sanyogita and Rosie. Yes, it is a ratio scale. Very good. Very nice answer. It is a ratio type of questionnaire, ratio type of question, because you are seeking an absolute answer like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 44, for 45 point something minute, 50 minutes, 60 minutes. So this is called the ratio data. Very nice. Very nice. Now, next question to you. Suppose you are going to seek the response from the respondent on the scale from the 1 to 7 scale. 1 means strongly disagree and 7 means strongly agree. Which type of scale it is? Please tell me. Which type of scale it is? Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. Amandeep, great. It's an interval scale. Why it is an interval scale? Because order is there, identity is there, and the difference is also equal. The difference is also equal. Whenever you have the three properties in the scale, then it is called the interval scale. Interval means equal distance. Equal distance. Very good. Very nice. Those participants who are responding. Indeed. Yes, it is showing the behavioral aspect. Fantastic answer by Gurpreet Singh. Yes, you are actually measuring the behavior of the car owner. That washing done by this particular workshop is excellent, or this service performance is consistent, and the prices charged from this particular workshop are reasonable, and you are seeking the response from 1 to 7 rating scale. Then it is called rating scale. You are rating. Simply you just remember that the interval scale is called the rating scale. I'm writing in the chat box rating, and the scale is called the interval scale. Now, next question. I'm showing you the next slide. What is your age? What is your age? 16 to 20, 21 to 25, 26 to 30, 31 to 40. Please tell me which scale it is. Great. Very nice. Kavita, ratio kaise hai ye? Kavita, why is it ratio? It is category. I am asking the answer in the category that do you belong to 16 to 20 category, 21 to 25 category, 26 to 30 category, 31 to 40 category, 41 to 50. It is nominal scale. It is nominal. What is your sex? What is your gender? Male or female? What is this scale it is? Please tell me. Very good. I love to have your interactions. I love to have your chats, so that I should come to know, okay, whatever is delivering that you are getting. Okay, fantastic. What is your marital status? Married and single? Which type of scale it is? Nominal or ordinal? Very good. Very good. Very nice. Acha, if married, what is your annual household income? Under $10,000, $10,000 to $19, 20,000, for example, 20 to 20. Which type of scale it is? Okay, nominal. Because there is again categories are there. You are not giving the ranking. You are not asking the ranking from the respondent. See, there is a difference between ordinal and nominal. Simply, it's very simple that ordinal means order. Whenever you are asking the order, I've shared the screen. The screen is shared, Nilesh, sir. The screen is already shared. I hope so. Is my screen visible? Yeah, already it is shared now. Yeah. So yeah. So this is again, nominal scale. And so what I'm trying to make you understand. So we have now tried to understood, number one, the type of scale. And from this questionnaire, we are able to identify what is the nominal scale, what is the ordinal scale, what is the interval scale, and what is the ratio scale. Now, which newspaper do you read daily? Which scale would you use? Suppose please tell me, identify the scale of below mentioned which newspaper you read daily. Will you use nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio? Anchal, why are you writing ratio? Rajay, why are you writing ratio? It is not ratio. There is nothing written in the absolute number. There is nothing, Rajay. There is nothing written in the absolute number. I'm not asking what is the weight, height, age, income. Simple question yaad rakho na. Please, once you try to understand, nominal means categories and these are categories. Newspaper is a category. Simply Times of India, Punjab Kesari, Dainik Jagran, Ajit. Suppose I'm doing a survey on, say, for example, newspaper readership, for example. So, which newspaper do you read daily? तो मैं क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा हूँ रिस्पोंडेंट से, तो मेरे ऑप्शंस क्या होंगे क्वेश्चन में? I would ask him or her respondent कि भाई are you reading? I'll give them the option ना कि Times of India, Tribune, Punjab Kesari, or the Economic Times, for example. It's nominal. It's nominal. Very right. Very right. Very right. Those students surely nominal. Anchal, surely nominal. And next question, please. My pedagogy would be more from, I'll take a test from you after every regular interval. I'm not going to give you only my knowledge to you and just share. जितना भी मुझे आता होगा ना, मैं जहाँ पे surrender कर जाऊँगा, तो I will surrender myself. मुझे कोई, I will not hesitate कि I will give your query answer tomorrow. I will not hesitate, but I'm not going to show my knowledge and I'm not going to express my experience and anything. I'm also a learner and you are also a learner. Please just cooperate with me. Those who people are very intelligent than me or very knowledgeable than me, please, I think I have just mentioned in the very beginning that please, if you are disagree with me, please disagree with me respectfully. Okay, my number is with you. You can please send me, rather I will be more, learn from you. So it is a give and take. Acha, tell me the next question. Tell me the answer of this question. Suppose a marketing research company conduct a survey in the 3 towns of India. ध्यान से सोचना अब ये क्वेश्चन में क्या कौन सा स्केल यूज होगा. You will be giving the answer. Suppose a marketing research company wants to conduct a survey in 3 towns of India, Bhopal, Nagpur, and Baroda. While compiling the data, the company assigns the numeric code 1 to Bhopal, 2 to Nagpur, and 3 to Baroda. Tell me, what is this type of scale it is? अरे क्या बात है, या तो आपको सबको आता था पहले से या मुझे नहीं पता. God knows. The audience is very intelligent audience. Great. Nominal scale. Fantastic. Superb. Yes, next question. Tell me, suppose that a manufacturing company administers a questionnaire to 150 consumer. May I be in a question, please? Those students who are MBA or MCOM students, please reply me the answer of this question. Please reply me the answer of this question. No doctorates will answer, because there are certain participants who are doctorates. They know, maybe they know everything. So I would likely to seek the answer from the PG students. Suppose that a manufacturing company administers a questionnaire to one, obtain consumer perception to one of its products, and each consumer is asked to judge between 3 given options: excellent, good, or poor. If we want to assign numeric value to these attributes, like 1 can be used for poor, 2 for good, and 3 for excellent, which scale it is? Okay. Excellent, good, or poor? Yes, order is there. Order is there. Excellent, 1 means poor, 2 means good, and 3 means excellent. Okay. Kavita Malik, Shweta, Anup Kumar Saha. It's not interval. Arup, sorry. Arup, it is not interval. Where is the distance? Where is the, scale? There is no scale that has been used in this question. There is no scale it has been used in this question. And last question. Okay, now you would tell me, For example, a company markets 2 toothbrushes, which is priced at 30 rupees, and you know, just a moment, I just minimize this. Yeah, 15 rupees. And in the ratio scale, the difference between the two prices, that is INR 30 minus 15, that is 15, can be calculated and is meaningful. With it, we can say that the price of the first product, INR 30, is 2 times that of the second product. An interval and the ratio data are collected using some precise instruments. So these data are called metric data and are sometimes referred to as quantitative data. So in this type of question where you are asking the price of the toothbrush, okay, the two prices of the toothbrush, and which is first toothbrush is INR 30 and the second toothbrush is 15. So you know that the difference between the two brushes is 15, and one brush is twice the price of the second brush. So this is called the ratio data. This is something we can call it as a ratio level data. And ratio level data and interval data, they are called the metric data. They are called metric data, and they are also referred to as a quantitative data. And for example, 3 students of MSc students, they have scored 65, 75 or 85 marks, okay, in their subject called reliability theory, for example. So obviously this is ratio data. Why? Because this is absolute number, that first student got 65 marks, the second student got 75 marks, and the third student got the 85 marks. So this is something which we can call it as the ratio data, because absolute number is there. Now, in the last 5 to 10 minutes, I would likely to brush up the scaling techniques, which is very simple. Now you will not be able to much of the, generally, I would likely to tell you that in the research, in the social science research, we use the comparative scale as well as we use the non-comparative scale. Two types of scaling techniques, they are primarily very, very prominent. One is the paired comparison and rank order in the comparative scale, and in the non-comparative, we use the continuous rating scale or itemized rating scale. Okay. In the itemized rating scale, we have the Likert scale, semantic differential scale, and the Staple scale. What is Likert scale? I'll ask you the question. What is Likert scale? Just tell me, what is Likert scale? What is Likert scale? I'm not going to spend much time on it because the scale as part has been done. So it may be 5-point scale, it may be 7-point scale. Yes, yes, where distance is equal, distance is same, distance is equal. Yes, interval like 1 to 5 on a scale of attitude. For example, 1 means strongly disagree, 2 means disagree, 3 means not sure, 4 means agree, and 5 means strongly agree. Yes, absolutely. This is called the Likert scale. So Likert scale is clear to you. Okay. So paired comparison, please, for measuring perception, expectations. Very good, Manju Mittal. You are absolutely right. So Likert scale is the scale which is primarily very, very prominent, that is used in the research. And we write certain statements. Obviously, we write certain statements, and on these statements, we seek the response from the respondent on the 1 to 5-point scale, which is called the itemized rating scale. इसको हम क्या बोलते हैं? Itemized rating scale. This is called the itemized because you are giving items. Items means your statements. Like suppose you are doing a study on the perception of online classes through Zoom platform. So you must be asking the perception of the student, where you are writing a lot of statements, and on those statements you are seeking the response, attitude of the students. Okay, attitude of the student from 1 to 5 rating scale. Okay, so in those type of problems, you are using the Likert scale. Okay, and so so primarily there are 2 types of scale. One is comparative scale and a non-comparative scale. So Likert scale is a non-comparative scale. Please note down, Likert is a non-comparative scale. Okay, like 1 to 5 rating scale. Okay, that is a non-comparative. But what is comparative scale? Comparative scale means the scale where we compare the two objects, And this type of scaling is mostly used when you are using a comparative scaling technique. You have been given the, for example, I'm giving you 4 different shampoos and I'm asking you which shampoo you prefer. Okay, so here I am going to ask the paired comparison test, paired comparison, sorry, scaling technique. For example, you have the Tresemme, Himalaya Herbals, Dove, Sunsilk, and Pantene, and you have Tresemme, Himalaya, Dove, Sunsilk, Pantene. So what you are going to do, whenever you are going, you are writing, say one, the first respondent right here, one, and here also one. So column means that this column represent the preference of this shampoo over the row. Means this Tresemme is more preferred than Himalaya Herbals. This Tresemme is more preferred than Dove, and this Tresemme is more preferred than Pantene. And whenever you have a zero means that this row is more preferred than column. Like this Tresemme is more preferred than Himalaya Herbals, and similarly this Tresemme is more preferred than the Dove. So this type of scaling, when you are going to compare, okay, when you are going to the you present the different pairs of shampoo brands to the respondent, and you are asking the respondent that which of the brands of shampoo in the pair you prefer. So in this particular type of question, you are going to use the type of scaling which is called the paired comparison scaling. This is called the paired comparison scaling. And then you are going to get the, you can see that sum total of this one, and you will come to know that this Sunsilk is more times this brand is preferred as vis-a-vis Tresemme, Himalaya Herbals, Dove, or Pantene. So this is called the this paired comparison scaling. Then is called the rank order scaling. Rank order scaling is very simple. You are just asking the respondent to rank. Rank means, like, for example, I am seeking this survey where I'm asking preference for toothpaste brand using rank order scaling, and I'm asking that please rank these toothpaste. So the respondent is giving Colgate number 1, Crest number 2, Gleam number 3, Sensodyne number 4, Close-Up number 5, Plus White number 6, Stripe number 7, Ultra Bright, let's say 8, Aim, let's say 9. So no rank will be repeated twice. So this is something which is called the scale, which is called, you can call it as a rank order scale, rank order scaling. Okay, may I have your opinion that I may not only keep on speaking. So we had discussed, one is comparative scale and non-comparative. In the comparative scale, so we talked about the paired comparison scaling technique, and second one is the rank order scaling technique. Okay, then we also use sometimes we use constant sum. Constant sum scaling means it's very simple, very simple, that you give us some total points to the respondent, and the participant is asked to allocate 100 points for a particular object. For example, I am conducting a survey on, let's say, Hero motorbike. Okay, and Hero motorbike, and I'm going to give the respondent to give the 100 points to the various attributes of Hero bike. So first attribute is, say, mileage. Second attribute is, say, let's say, comfort. Third attribute, second attribute is comfort, and third attribute may be the safety. So the participant is giving me the points, so that the sum total of the 100 points could be, so that the three points, the sum total is 100. For example, the respondent is giving 50 points to comfort, and 30 points to, say, mileage, and 20 points to, let's say, safety. So here the company, the motorbike company, they would come to know that the respondent is giving, allocating less points to the attributes, that is called the safety. That is called the safety. So this type of
Dr.
scaling
Pavan,
yeah, please.
Sorry to interrupt. Please keep in mind the time constraint.
Sure, because we have 1 minute now.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Of course, you can continue for some time, but I'm just reminding you.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. So this is the type of scaling which we have used in the comparative scaling technique. And non-comparative scaling, you already know, it is the Likert scale. Likert scale means I am just showing you just the last slide. Strongly disagree, disagree, neither agree nor disagree, agree and strongly agree. So you can see the distance is also equal, and one identity is also there, equal distance, and order is also there from 1 to 5. So this type of scale is called the interval scale. This type of scale is called the interval scale. In layman sense, what is interval scale? Simply remember, rating scale is called the Likert scale. Whenever you are seeking the behavioral responses, whenever you are seeking the response about the attitude of the consumer, then it is called the Likert scale. So thank you very much. This is all about for today's session. So we have discussed about the scale, and we have talked about the scaling techniques little, for the last 10 minutes. I hope my voice modulation and clarity is there. So I tried my level best to, I'll share the PPT, of course, because it's my own PPT. I have never copied or heard from there, nothing else. It's all efforts that I put into hard efforts to these PPTs. So thank you very much. And somewhere I thought that if I'm not able to compact with you, so I will try to make it more compatible tomorrow. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am, over to you. Yeah, ma'am, over to you, please.
Okay, thank you, sir. A very good evening to one and all. It's great pleasure for me to propose vote of thanks to those who have directly and indirectly contributed in this event. On behalf of Research and IPR Cell, Khalsa College, Patiala, I would like to thank our Honorable Principal, Dr. Dharminder Singh Obaji, for his constant guidance at every moment. I extend our thanks to our Dean Research of IPR Cell, Dr. Ravinderjeet Singh Ji, who took initiative to organize this workshop. I also would like to thank our special resource person, Dr. Pavan Kumar, for taking out time from his busy schedule and for enlightening us with his great knowledge. Today's lecture which were based on scale techniques in research. Sir, this lecture was full of awareness. Thank you, sir, for your.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. And ma'am, please announce the participants that they download the trial version of SPSS. It is for 14 days. So tomorrow I will show the hands-on experience that how to do the data entry in SPSS, particularly the scales which we have done today: nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio. So how can we? So that's what you can please tell them. Okay. So thank you very much, ma'am. Thanks for
organizing committee and all the participants to make this session successful. Tomorrow we will meet at the next session on same time with smiling faces. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.